Yes, we've transformed our jungle with these greens and okras and so on mixed up together in 1 square meter of space, producing this every week to a new format. This is what we did, and it took us only about an hour to do this refurbishment or replenishing of the reservoir. Yeah, I'll step through briefly how we got to this new point. Yes, this is the retooled garden. It has 3 okras and 6 tomatoes in the same container. What we did was we pruned the roots from the okras. We pruned the leaves from the okras as well, because they were like 11 inches wide and long. The okra leaves, they were massive and shading out everything underneath them. So I'm showing you here the roots as we pruned them back severely. I mean, this is pushing it to the envelope. You're told not to take off more than 1/3 of the roots, but we had a little algae building up, so we decided to nip it in the bud right away and just prune as much as we could. Within 2 days of having done this pruning, I will show you in another picture the results. It really astonished me that there was no shock, because I had my roots dangling in a little bit of water, and I did it during the dung time, during the night when they were supposed to be more dormant. So the shock next day did not happen, and I saw a remarkable change. I'll show you the change. I woke up one morning with this surprise: a beautiful okra flower. This got me going because, sometimes the pollen doesn't make it to the thing because there's not enough air blowing like if it was outside. So I have a fan going. Yes, as you can see the leaves moving, but that fan, I don't trust that it will get these big pollen globules off onto the stamen of the plant there. I mean, from the stamen of the plant onto the top where, the pollination actually happens. Then I got another surprise. So you'll see on the left here, there is a little okra bud in the crook of the tree, but then on the right you see another bud is popping. So man, I tell you, these guys, like, they can't wait to get out. So there's a better picture of the one that popped first and is producing the okra, and the one on the right has a matured, nicely formed flower opening up. They open up really wide. This is not even fully open yet. Here I was just measuring the length of the plants from the table, like the bottom of the roots. As I mentioned before, plants are about 17 inches tall. That's the top of the canopy. And here I'm measuring from the top of the reservoir, and that's about 11 inches tall. So, when I have things like Swiss chard and rapini, I had about 11 inches of leaf to eat. Yes, what I've done here is I had another surprise. I had a third flower. So that one. So this is the second flower, and this is the first fruit here. So that was a pleasant surprise again. So I must have done something right. I pruned the leaves, I pruned the roots. Plants seem to be happier, and within 2 days, this is happening. So I'm learning. So I'm just showing here the 3 okras that are on the go at the moment. So this is also a good shot of what my garden tree looks like now. It's less crowded, but actually more plants in bigger plants too, because the tomatoes are going to get really large. So this is going to be very interesting again. Here I took a piece of foam, covered the ice cream container with nutrient in it, and planted 5 tomatoes in that one. And behind that is the okras. You can see the other 6 tomatoes are into space with these plants. This is a good overview of the whole garden, number 3 now. So a tally of 7 okra trees and 11 tomato plants. We shall see if the tomatoes are dwarfs or if they're full-fledged, either indeterminate or determinate. Determinate will have a fixed height, but the indeterminate could be a vine. So I'm prepared for the shock of my life because I planted these seeds from a tomato I bought from the store that I enjoyed immensely. So I said I had to have that. So I just planted them, and you have no knowledge as to where these tomatoes came from. So the surprise is part of the fun. I've had shocks where the tomatoes in hydroponics grew 5 feet tall off my desk, and actually more than 5 feet. They hit the roof and started to blossom, but I had to prune them down because it was just an experiment and I didn't have time to watch them fruit. So to summarize, we went from this jungle producing, this kind of a crop, to a new setup where we are planting tomatoes in among the okras here to see how they'll compete.